Paul, Europe is willing to let Greece default under crisis response that will involve a bond buyback, a debt swap, but no new tax on banks. This is tragic. So Greece is eventually going to default after
it's
all that hard work.
Problem solved. So, I mean, they discussed stuff overnight. We know that Sarkozy and Merkel were flying backwards and forwards. The idea at first was that everybody who's holding Greek or other bonds is going to have to take a haircut by way of a special tax.
Yes.
And that was then put aside. But I think the critical thing here is this European fund for, what is the EFSF thing? Anyway, it's the group fund, the European nations thing, which basically has the ability to raise money with a general guarantee, and they will be able to use this facility to refinance peripheral nations. So really what it is, it's the European version of quantitative easing.
It's actually the European Financial Stability Facility.
Very good.
Thank you.
But really what it is, it's the same thing as the Americans had with QE2.
Yes.
It's the ability of the central authorities to both buy as collateral some of these weak bonds, as well as issue funding, which has got a general collateralized guarantee to the sovereign nations. So what I am saying here, and what the market is telling you there, is that this is problem solved.
Yes, we're up
problem
over
solved.
1.25%.
Can kicked right down the road. So, I mean, we know that corporate earnings have been strong, so we've been looking for these things to go away so that we can get on with the business of repricing the market.
Okay, so eventually after all this talk, Greece is going to default. Essentially, this is exactly, but this is what I'm saying.
That's not how I'm reading it.
I know that's not how you're reading it, but the fact that everyone was saying, you know, ECB president was saying, get default out of your rhetoric, get it out of your minds, it's not going to happen. Suddenly,
but what does default mean? Default is where you trigger a default event, which means that there's credit default swaps then kick in. So my understanding in this situation is that's not going to happen. So there are going to be various rollovers and various arrangements made.
So it's a technical default that is controlled.
But it's not going to lead to a kind of where is my collateral tonight like situation like they had with Lehman Brothers, where everything is like, oh, well, your money is gone and you can't have it for the next 3 years.
Okay, so Paul's notes say KIO, kapow. Kumba Iron Ore.
Yeah, fantastic.
Doing really well, but really dismally in today's session, down almost 3% today.
Yeah, but it's been such a great success story as a stock. I mean, the levels that it's reached now are just incredible compared to where it was. If you put together the business and go back and look over the last, 5 or 10 years, it's one of South Africa's corporate success stories. Obviously, Anglo did well to get its paws on it. So now it's the 4th largest iron ore global expansion. We know what's happening in the iron ore business. They can't make enough of this stuff. Seaborne iron ore trade has never looked better. I mean, they've got capacity issues on the line, but it's a fantastic business. And for those that are lucky enough to own it, it's just an incredible dividend story.
So why down so much today? I mean, Nicholas Earl was talking about dividend, and it seems that people are worried about that, or not?
No, I don't think so. I mean, on one trading session, you may well find that there were people that thought it might do slightly better, or they were anticipating a slightly higher. Remember, these are interim numbers. So for them to generate now in an interim dividend, the equivalent of what the share price was before, it's just fantastic. And talking stocks, obviously Vodacom's numbers were fantastic today as well. And this theory of mine about how significant data is going to be in the future really seems to be coming through.
It's not just your theory, everyone's theory is that
but a couple of years ago people were saying, oh, that's all very well, but it's going to be small and it's going to be competitive and it's not going to be significant and the margins are so much lower. Well, now you can see in Vodacom's numbers it's not.
I think I should be a dart thrower if I ever am not going to be a financial journalist. So
exactly. You mean like if this was a pub and you were throwing darts, you'd be scoring here.
Okay,
this thing is close to Omnia, which is a fertilizer company, but too small to be bothered to talk about that.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul.